everyone, and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Power Rangers Super Megaforce review for you today, funnily enough. This is the first half of what I'm just going to call the final wave of Power Rangers Ranger keys. Mostly just because I don't know what the wave numbers are at this point, and plus it's just kind of fun. Final wave is also the Gokaigers attack using the keys. So in any case, Bandai of America finally realized they didn't actually give us all the keys, so they've decided to finally do right by us hardcore fans who are still, for whatever reason, buying these things. They put out a case of 12 sets, which will, if you buy all 12, will give you all the rest of the keys you're missing. So we're going to take a look at the first 6 here, and then I'll do a second video most likely tomorrow with the other 6. So, going in chronological order, we have Turbo, In Space, Lightspeed Rescue, Lost Galaxy, Time Force, and Wild Force. So, unfortunately, I think only one of these packs has more than one key that you need, which is kind of a bummer. Turbo has just yellow that hasn't been released yet. In Space has just pink. Lost Galaxy has just pink. I think Time Force has just yellow, and Wild Force has just white. So, unfortunately, you're just going to get a lot of translucent keys you probably don't need, and you're essentially paying $8 or $9, depending on how your Toys R Us is, for one key, which is kind of a bummer. And I considered not buying these, but then I thought, I've invested this much, you know, years from now I may kick myself. So they were there, I saw them, I decided to get them. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pop these out of the package and we'll take a look at each team individually. First up, we have the Turbo pack, and that's going to start you off with a translucent Turbo Red. Pretty standard. Paint on the helmet actually looks pretty good. I'll see if I can get a little bit closer. I mean, it's not terribly even, unfortunately, but I at least appreciate that they did the silver, kind of trim the whole thing. Actually, the more I look at it, the paint on mine's a little messed up, but what are you going to do? Flipping it up, there is the Car Ranger, or Turbo, QR code there for the Red Ranger. So it's not a terrible key. The translucent kind of makes it look a little plain since there's not a whole lot of color on it, but it is what it is. Next up, we have kind of a glittery Phantom Ranger, which I actually kind of like a lot. It's nicely painted, and the glitter in it kind of makes it feel a little extra special, seeing as how we already have a Phantom Ranger. Go ahead and flip that up. There's his QR code. So yeah, I feel like it's a little bit better than just a normal translucent key, so I like that. And then, of course, the reason you're buying the pack if you're a completist, Turbo Yellow. Paint on her helmet actually looks pretty good. Flip up her key here. So there you go. Not a bad pack. Obviously, yellow is the only new key you absolutely need, but I feel like the glittery Phantom Ranger is kind of cool too. Translucent red is just okay. Next up, we have In Space. Again, you're going to get a translucent, sparkly red and black, as you can see, but we'll take a look at them in a minute. Paint on Red's helmet actually looks fairly decent. Let's see if I can get that to close up there. Not bad. And you can see the sparkles. There's his QR code. So it's not fantastic, but it's not terrible. Kind of the same deal with black here. Paint on his helmet's fairly decent. You can see he's got some sparkles in his translucent plastic. There's his QR code. Again, the reason you're buying the pack here is In Space Pink. Not bad paint job there. Whoops. Taking a look at her QR code. There you go. So I think pink looks pretty good. Obviously, that's probably the main reason you're buying the pack, is it's the only new key. But at least with the translucents this time, they're giving us like some sparkles or, you know, a little bit to kind of jazz them up, and they're not just normal translucent. So again, I think the key that you're buying it for is great. The other two are okay. Up next, we have the Lost Galaxy set. Now this is a translucent red, but there's no sparkles in this one, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to why some keys do get sparkles in them and some don't. I don't know. But this guy being just a clear red kind of looks like candy to me. I don't know why. But the helmet's decent. Not a whole lot of paint on it, but it looks very good. There's his QR code. Next up, we have a Magna Defender that does have sparkles. And he almost looks kind of greenish. I know he's black, but he's like a translucent black with sparkles. He almost seems kind of greenish. There's his QR code. But overall, I think he looks pretty good. Paint on his helmet is really good. This guy, I think, is just a really nice key in general. And then, of course, the reason you're buying. The pink Lost Galaxy key looks great. Paint's pretty decent on the helmet. There's QR code. So I think this is a nice set. I like the pink, obviously. I think the sparkly Magna Defender is pretty cool. Red translucent Lost Galaxy red is, alright. It's not that great. Next up, we have Lightspeed Rescue, which is actually a fantastic pack because we need all 3 of these keys. I think it's the only pack out of all 12 where you don't have any of these keys already. So this is really nice. Pink looks great. I think it looks really good. Taking a close-up look here at the chest and the helmet. And then go ahead and check out our QR code. Very nice key there. Same with yellow. I think the paint job is very, very good. QR code. Now we have the Titanium Ranger, which I know a lot of people that went to Power Morphicon got a metallic version of him in the Power Morphicon set with, I think, the Wolf Ranger from Jungle Fury. This guy is definitely not the same. He's not metallic. He's kind of translucent, but not really. It's kind of like a milky kind of plastic. It's very strange to describe. It's like a opaque-ish translucent. I know that doesn't make any sense and I'm not describing it well. But you can kind of see, like here in the legs, some of the plastic underneath. But it's kind of a swirly, thick, like almost milky-looking plastic, which is different from the others. But if you were not able to go to Power Morphicon like me, it's nice to have at least some kind of Titanium Ranger, like we got the translucent Wolf Ranger in the Jungle Fury pack a while back. It's nice to have some kind of representation of him, because I wasn't able to go to Power Morphicon. But from what I understand, the one that came in the Power Morphicon set was very metallic and kind of a much nicer key. So people who did get that set, at least it's different, so you don't feel as slighted for getting that set, if you paid a lot for it, like on eBay or something. Here's the Time Force set. You get a translucent blue. This guy doesn't have any sparkles. I kind of like the translucent blues, though. It's just personal preference, because blue is my favorite color. There's his QR code, but I think he looks pretty good. Paint job on his head is kind of nice, and I like the visor being translucent. I think that looks pretty cool. Then we have a translucent pink, which I think this has got to be the only time we're getting a translucent pink in the whole line, as far as I can think. If I'm wrong, someone let me know in the comments below, but I'm pretty certain. I just kind of went through all my Ranger keys here. I don't think there's any other translucent pinks because, it's hard enough to get one pink, let alone a double. But for Time Force Pink, I think that it's fitting. One of the best pink Rangers we've had. I like this translucent pinky. I think it looks nice. There's the QR code. And then the yellow Time Force, which is the one we didn't have any other representation of. Looks pretty good. There is the QR code. I think it's interesting to note that there's no skirt here on yellow because I believe in Japan, Time Force Yellow was a man, and therefore the suit from the Sentai footage used didn't have a skirt either. So the key is true to the Sentai footage that they used for the show. So I think that's pretty neat. But overall, I think this is a pretty good set. I do like the translucent blue and pink. Again, it's just a personal preference, but I think it actually looks good. And the yellow key is nice and completes the Time Force team. Alright, last up in this first video is the Wild Force pack. You get a clear red, no sparkles, just clear. But I think the paint looks pretty good. The helmet looks nice. There's his QR code. Then you get, again, this is very similar to the Titanium Ranger, where it's like a swirly, milky, translucent, because you can still see like some of the screw holes and some of the struts from the plastic underneath, but it's definitely not transparent. It's translucent at the best. Like, it's kind of milky. Again, it's very hard to describe, but I think it's a nice looking key. The paint on the helmet looks pretty good. Taking a look at his QR code there. And then the last, to complete the team, we have the White Tiger Ranger. It's going to be kind of hard to see because it's white, but there is some paint here on the helmet. There's some silver there, with the eyes ever so slightly painted gold. But otherwise, the helmet looks pretty good. I like the pink down here for the skirt. And then there's her QR code. So this is an alright pack. Obviously, whites, I think, is the best out of the three. I think the, Wolf Ranger Merrick is alright. And the translucent red is, what are you going to do? There's not any other Rangers to include, so you're going to get somebody more transparent. So unfortunately for these first 6 out of the 12 key packs, most of them you're only getting one really new key. With the exception of the Lightspeed Rescue Pack, all 3 keys in that were needed, especially if you're like me and you couldn't get to Power Morphicon to get a Titanium Ranger. So it's definitely nice to at least get some kind of representation. It's not as nice and shiny as the metallic key that came in that set, but it's nice to at least get some representation of them. As you can see, you're getting a lot of translucent, some sparkly, some not, Red Rangers and kind of 6th Rangers there in the back. I understand that at this point they had to just give us 3 keys. It would have been kind of nice to just do... I know they want to keep them team specific, but I would have just done, Turbo Yellow, In Space Pink, and Lost Galaxy Pink in one key pack just to get the keys, and I don't care which Ranger you put on the packaging. Like, just get them out to us the cheapest way possible. There were lots of opportunities in the past where they could have completed teams, but instead we got like another transparent green or blue or something when they could have just slid the pink or yellow in there. They say it was a mistake, that they didn't realize they didn't have all the keys out. I think it was just another way to scoop another $100 out of us diehard collectors. But at least at this point, the keys are out. You can have them all. You can have complete teams for everyone. There's still not anyone lingering. So at least it's finally done. And if you want to collect all the keys, they are out there and it can be done. So again, I don't know how much I can recommend them. It really depends on how diehard you are. I at least recommend the Lightspeed pack because that's 3 brand new keys. They all look great. Fantastic. I definitely at least recommend that. The others, it really depends on how much you care about having a complete team. If you can live without a pink or a yellow, you could probably easily pass on these. In the next set of 6, there's definitely some more that have 2 or 3. I don't think there's any other packs that have 3 all new, but some of them have 2 that are new, or at least have some better features, and we'll take a look at that next time. So please like and share this video. Leave me any comments in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If you're buying these, if you're not buying these, I'd love to hear from you. So please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this first look at the first half of the final wave of Ranger key packs, and thanks for watching.